So now that MrBeast has announced he plans to buy TikTok, I think it might be a good time to find out who MrBeast really is, what his values are, and how, as a CEO, he might impact the platform, children, and other young influencers accessing the platform on a daily basis. For those like me who have no idea about MrBeast, who he is, his real name is Jimmy Donaldson. MrBeast is a well-known YouTuber. He has the largest amount of subscribers at 340 million. His prime audience are teenage boys who play video games, and his channel largely grew with viral prank and challenge videos. And he's been involved in lots of controversies over the years, from accusations of illegal gambling and other activities to more serious accusations. The most recent controversy has to do with his $100 million partnership with Amazon Prime. MrBeast and Amazon were sued by contestants of Beast Games, a reality TV competition game that was released on Amazon Prime. This is not the first time something like this happens to Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast. If we remember, his YouTube channel team was recently accused of turning a blind eye to sexualized content of minors, allegedly. At that time, Jimmy Donaldson eventually parted ways with one of his longtime partners when allegations of potential grooming of minors came to light, specifically of young fans of the channel. I should note that this is particularly concerning because these minors are MrBeast's core audience. He makes prank and challenge videos, particularly for Gen Alpha. And this is something that he is definitely aware of. He has previously stated that his core audience are preteens and teenagers who play video games. A lot of his viewers and followers would fall within that age group. The longtime partner and, his former roommate and allegedly best friend was the person at the center of this controversy. Tyson is a very well-known associate of MrBeast because this friend had been heavily featured in tons of MrBeast videos over the years, before and after transitioning in 2023. The Direct reports that several videos came out in or around 2024 accusing Tyson of several crimes, including that she previously engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a minor. Basically, the allegations surrounding Tyson had to do with interactions with younger fans, but also, as another YouTuber, Rosanna Benzino, has mentioned in her extensive exposés of MrBeast, this behavior wasn't just happening in private spheres, it was also taking place in some of their
public fan forums.
such as the MrBeast forum on Discord, which means a lot of younger fans were allegedly being groomed through these platforms. Now, at the time, MrBeast did issue a statement stating, quote, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of David Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings." End quote. Now, this is an interesting response because every single line screams liability management. A lot of the responses online were memes and jokes, mocking even the perception that a third-party investigation could be independent when it's being paid for by the company. And MrBeast is the face and name of his own company. I mean, harassment investigations, even when done by third parties, often law firms or specialized consulting firms, they do serve to assess and determine the firm's exposure to liability, and they're usually followed by recommendations on how to reduce or mitigate that risk. But having said that, an investigation that's being conducted and commissioned by MrBeast himself will be done in order to educate and inform him of his exposure in order to then take action to protect himself and his company from legal liability. So the fact that he is conducting an investigation is definitely believable. However, whether those findings and recommendations will be to make improvements or to cover his assets and himself, that's a different story. In this context, him deleting or stating that he will be removing Ava Tyson from his channel and identifying any other kind of evidence to be removed from any connection to the company as well is not necessarily unexpected. I think because all of this was happening so publicly, he is still being called out for all of this, at least by the adults on the internet. And people are much more aware of these things, and people are definitely awake to these perceptions of conflicts of interest. This was a massive plot line, for instance, throughout season 1 of The Morning Show, for those who have been following The Morning Show. But it basically has this really good depiction of when the CEO hires a third party to conduct an investigation, or at least that's what employees are told when this company goes around interviewing everyone. But the real objective that the CEO had given this firm was basically essentially to find a scapegoat. Now, I also want to clarify that I will not be talking about any of the individual minors involved in these controversies. I know some of them have since come out to give statements. I will not be covering that because they are minors, and I don't think they necessarily chose to be publicly associated with this fallout. I will talk though about Rosanna Pansino. As I've mentioned before, she is another YouTuber who dedicated a lot of time and research into in-depth exposés. Now, she used to at some point work or collaborated, so she does have personal experience with him. Her content revealed explosive revelations. Among many other things, she has access to or is in touch with some employees or ex-employees of MrBeast Productions, and she got access to incredible, just unbelievable evidence and receipts. Now, these are all allegations. I cannot confirm the veracity of any of these. I do know that she has stated she has turned this over to the FBI. Among the evidence she got access to was a org chat on Telegram full of sexually explicit content, including explicit images of minors, allegedly, which, if these allegations and screenshots are true, it would make parts of this work chat a form of CP. Rosanna Pansino also exposed a surprising amount of humor about explicit relationships between adults and children, preying on children, a lot of humor around those topics, a lot of sexual innuendo and humor as well, common references to underage sexual situations, and of course, all of that collegial environment and collegial jokes paved the way to conversations about much more explicit content, such as actual reference to seemingly essay anecdotes, and even stuff I cannot even mention. And if that wasn't enough, there's also memes with swastikas and a lot of inappropriate content, offensive content. Rosanna Pansino also alleges that all of this was happening after Jimmy had already gone viral and become mainstream, getting millions of views per video. She explained that some of these videos from this time period were getting over 100 million views each. And while this was happening in a work chat, Rosanna's video also alleges that Ava Tyson was also posting some of this content on their Discord, reaching countless young fans. For screenshots, there was allegedly a lot of explicit content for and about children on their public Discord platform. In her video, Rosanna's co-host explains,
Ava was posting similar things in the Discord, and it's like what it's doing is like normalizing adults talking sexually to children. Even if it's like, oh, it's a joke. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're still exposing sexual content to children. You're normalizing it to them, which is like the first step of grooming.
Rosanna Pansino stated, quote, "I have reported what I found and my concerns to the authorities, the FBI. Hopefully they will look into these MrBeast Telegram company chat logs and other concerns," end quote. In judging from the work chat, one thing to keep in mind is that his inner circle, because they represent him and work for him, they also then gain access to children, and not just kids, but fans. Children who are particularly prone to being influenced because they have all of this admiration for Jimmy Donaldson. And it's not like Jimmy isn't aware and exceedingly strategic when it comes to targeting this particular Gen Alpha demographic, because his own employee handbook describes his audience as, quote, "At its core, if I had to describe it, I'd say the average MrBeast viewer is a teenage memer that likes video games," end quote. Now I'm going to quickly also address Chatman Gate, which is the fact that both Tyson and Donaldson are supporters of Chatman, who is an artist who's famous for drawing children in explicit ways or performing explicit acts. And not only that, but Jimmy, whose audience is primarily underage kids, continued to have Chatman art in the background of his videos, even after parting ways with Ava Tyson, allegedly. So I'd love to know your thoughts, and what, if anything, do you think he could do to address these controversies? Let me know.
And if you liked part 1, you should check out the next one in this series, up on the screen.